Just when you thought it was safe to turn on your television, she's back. Our third story on the countdown, Governor Sarah Palin returning to the national spotlight, giving a speech in the lower 48 for the first time this year. Palin was a special guest speaker at the annual Vanderburgh County Right to Life fundraiser in Evansville, Indiana last night, delivering a strange and sometimes rambling speech to the sold-out crowd of about 3,000 people.
It is great to be here in the Hoosier State, and yes, I was bribed. America likes an underdog. That's why we like Hoosiers. By the way, I hope that some of you enjoyed some local tea parties. I know others across the country certainly did. I have a feeling that Indiana would have appreciated those tea parties yesterday. Finally, yes, you can see Russia from Alaska.
The recurring theme throughout the first 15 minutes of her speech was not, as you might expect at an anti-abortion dinner, pro-life. It was pro-Alaska.
We've got the largest mountain on the continent there. In fact, 17 of North America's largest mountains are there. Our rivers, plentiful and long, the mighty Yukon, is 1,900 miles. We have 80 active volcanoes, including the second largest in the world. We've got more than 3 million lakes. More than 3 million. And we are one of only 2 areas. We have one of only 2 lakes in the world with a year-round seal population, resident population. You know, sills in the ocean, we have them in one of our lakes. It's that big. We have more coastline than the entire continental United States, 46,000 miles, and over 10,000 islands. Only 1,000 of them are even named. But Alaska is amazing, and just real quickly, we have the greatest temperature range from 82 below zero to 100 above. We have the largest, busiest floatplane base in the world. We have the largest school district. We have the longest sled dog and snow machine races in the world.
Finally, once the governor was done doing her part for the Alaska Tourism Board, she got back to the point of the evening, advocating against abortion, criticizing President Obama for his pro-life and pro-stem cell positions, and asking the audience to keep working for the, quote, culture of life.
Every innocent life does have purpose, and there is no accident. And I'm going to choose the Creator's idea of perfection over our society's definition of perfection any day.
Governor Palin followed up her appearance last night with a visit to a center that cares for children with Down syndrome today. I'm joined now by our own Jonathan Alter, author of The Defining Moment, FDR's 100 Days and the Triumph of Hope, and senior editor of Newsweek. And thanks for your time, Jonathan.
Hi, David.
At that pro-life rally, Palin acknowledged that she considered an abortion when she found out she was having a child with Down syndrome, telling the crowd, quote, "Just for a fleeting moment, I thought, no one knows me here. No one would ever know." But she decided to keep the baby instead. Isn't that choice the opposite of the pro-life position?
Well, first of all, I'm not quite clear on how nobody knows me here. I mean, she was governor of Alaska, you know, but your point is a good one. She at least entertained the idea of choice, and what she's trying to do is rule it out for everybody else. And under the kind of America that she wants, the doctor who she fleetingly considered consulting with belongs in jail. So if you kind of play out the logical ramifications of what she's talking about, it's very out of sync with where the American people are, but very in sync with where the conservative base of the Republican Party is. And that's what she's trying to appeal to audition for 2012.
Well, and on that point, Governor Palin threw some not-so-subtle digs at the president, mocking his comment last year to Pastor Rick Warren that decisions on when a baby gets human rights were above his pay grade. Did you get the impression she's still looking to challenge him again in 2012?
Oh, I don't think there's any question that she at least wants to put herself in a position to consider making a race. She clearly hasn't made a final decision. The first big decision is whether to run for re-election as governor of Alaska in 2010. There are kind of 2 ways to do this. You can go the George W. Bush route, where he was overwhelmingly re-elected as governor of Texas in 1998, which set him up well for 2000. Or you can go the Mitt Romney route, and he would likely be a major candidate for the Republican nomination, and basically, retire from state politics and focus all of your energies on the presidential. So that's the choice that she's going to make, but she's clearly doing what's necessary to to keep her options open as the reigning rock star in the Republican Party.
As Governor Palin traveled to Indiana, her Republican-controlled state legislature rejected her nominee for Attorney General, Wayne Ross, who has called gay people degenerates and defended a KKK statue. That's the first time in Alaska history the lawmakers rejected a governor's choice for an agency head. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells you that she's got a lot of problems back in Alaska. You know, before she was nominated for vice president, she was very, very popular there among not just Republicans but independents and even some Democrats. And that's all gone away. She's become kind of a fringe figure even within Alaska politics. But I think what that signifies is that she is looking toward not maybe running for re-election. Obviously, we don't know for sure. And playing to the very conservative Republican base, shrinking base, but that does continue to dominate in those early primary and caucus states in 2012.
And then finally here, Palin has also been criticized by our state legislature for leaving Alaska when the legislative session is nearly over. In seeking a national spotlight, is Governor Palin losing her home base support, and how fatal could that be for any national aspirations she might have?
Well, it's a good question about how much of a base you need at home. The advantage that she has is that Alaska's pretty far away, so if reporters were going to do stories about how she was unpopular in Alaska, a lot of their news organizations, especially nowadays, are not going to fund trips up there. So I think she can afford to kind of move away from Alaska politics, but if she gets the reputation as being very unpopular up there, that obviously doesn't enhance her chances.
Jonathan Alter of Newsweek and MSNBC. Jonathan, thanks as always. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, David.